having telling your making your mistress work out. Right. Coming and helping Saturday. Yeah. Why? Well, okay. I'm doing the same thing. Well, that's fine. I've got it already planned anyway, so it's really not going to be an issue. They have their own people that actually do it, and so they'll set it all up for me, and then all I have to do is tell them when and where to put everything. Really. Yeah. Right.
It is. It is. I'm getting like notifications left and right now.
Really.
Yeah, but that's good. That means the attention's there. Like the focus is on it now.
Right. Zach was saying that he's got a crazy amount of he's seeing a crazy amount of hits on the website,
Oh, is he?
and which he thinks is phenomenal since it's a it's a specific purpose website right now.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, that QR code. I know we had issues with the first QR code. It was a totally different website. I went with Tiny URL, and I went with that second version, and it hasn't been a problem since. So for the agenda, I made a new QR code just for MasonicSummit.com. So they can just type it in, or they can just scan the code and go straight to it.
Right.
So you got Gene Sands here. Welcome. Sorry, I'm probably butchering your name, Gene. Gene's here. David Lawson's here. Doing great, David.
How is Gene's last name spelled?
Sanz.
Signs.
Signs.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, my weekend, I had kind of a pretty negative incident yesterday.
Really? What
Yeah.
happened?
So I've been trying to get back in shape, so I thought I'd go for a run. And I was running through the park. What? What's funny about that?
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry. Did I laugh out loud?
Yeah, you did. I'm opening myself up to you here, and you're laughing at me. I'm willing to be
understand.
vulnerable, but you're laughing
I
at me.
understand.
I thought sure you do. You gonna let me finish my story, or you gonna mock
Yes.
me? You gonna mock
Yes.
me? Okay.
I'm gonna let you finish without laughing
Okay. So anyway,
until the end.
I went for a jog. It wasn't very pretty, but I went for a jog yesterday to try to lose weight. And about halfway through, I stepped in this giant pile of dog poop, and I didn't see it coming or anything. So
Good thing you didn't slip and
well, I know. So I sat down on the park bench that was close by and was scraping it off my shoe, and another guy came running through, like he was like hauling butt, running really fast. He stepped right in it, and so I started laughing at him. I was like, I just did that. Then he came and punched me in the face. He's like, "You sick SOB."
what? Really?
No.
Oh my
That's the
gosh.
joke, Dennis.
Oh my gosh.
I said, I just
That's
did
just-
that. He thought
Oh, I
oh
just
my
did that.
gosh.
Man, too much. Too much. Now you deserve the laugh at the beginning.
Well, hopefully the audience will get it. Let's see.
Yep, I'm sure they will since I've made you explain it to me. That's so funny.
It's actually Sanchez. It's just a short way of saying it. So you said it right. Good job, Dennis. Well done.
I'm from South Texas, man.
I guess
Well,
so.
I'm from North Texas, but I
David Lawson
currently
said
reside in
LOL.
South
David Lawson said LOL. He apparently he got it. So
Texas.
I guess it's just you, Dennis. You didn't get it.
He was probably laughing because I'm too old to get a joke anymore.
Wow, you too
That's the
old.
problem.
When you too old to get a dad joke, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting into the pawpaw jokes now. Do
Yeah.
you know I'm a grandfather?
No,
Yeah, I am.
no.
Crazy, huh?
I did go. I did go to the hearing doctor though. Speaking of real things.
Uh-huh. I'm not gonna trust you the rest of the time.
Oh, well, fine then. Okay.
I I realized this weekend that I have tinnitus. I need to go to the hearing doctor because I hear constantly this high pitched thing in my head.
I got like three, sometimes four high pitched things in my head. Just when I'm home though. I don't know why.
That's funny.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get those.
I mean, sometimes my wife is out and I just get like three. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
pretty lucky. I don't get those.
yeah. Yep. Yep.
Mine are heavy metal induced.
Nice. What's up, Charles Smith?
Hey, Charles.
Gene, we are getting closer to the summit. 5 days. 5 days, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and if you were wondering about, what the temperature would be in during the summit since it's September 16th in Texas, don't worry. We're still at 100 degrees every day in South Texas.
Well, good news. They'll probably be indoors though, so we'll have that going for us.
Well, ours will be, yes.
Yes.
But, the beach will be open for play for the kids that come. I know Sarah's looking forward to it. We're gonna bring our boogie board and I've got a couple of I forgot what they're called. They're these thin wooden things that you throw on the water and you jump on them and just kind of skim across the top of the water.
Surfboards.
No, they're not surfboards. They're a lot like a boogie board, except they're just thin pieces of wood, and they skim on top of the water, and it's even right there at the sand. With only 1 inch of water, they just skim across the top. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
But
Very cool.
I got a couple of those. I'm gonna go get those and bring them as well, so the kids have stuff to play on.
Charles, I'm very sorry that you just came here because you missed a really good joke. By the way, it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's all right.
he's
I got more.
yeah, he's a legend in his own mind, Charles.
That's the best place to be one. There's no naysayers.
Right. I was thinking today, I've been working with my my CNC machine and trying to work on the laser um, cutter
Laser,
and etcher. It's
laser.
it's basically strong enough to cut, etch, whatever you want to do. But it's been so long since I've used it, right? And so I'm getting all the software, trying to reteach myself how to use the software, and it's been changed so many times that it's a whole new experience. And I started thinking about that, and I thought, you know what? I bet you that's kind of how a lot of these older past masters feel when it comes to the lodge. That, they're not necessarily against change altogether. It's just that they're afraid that there's going to be so many that it'll become something that they don't know, they don't recognize anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in some cases, that's probably the best thing for it, right? But in some cases, it's not. When people are just doing things to change just for change's sake, that's not
So
that's not necessary.
I agree. But when I think often when people criticize people trying to do change just for change sake, they're
Yeah.
also these are also often organizations that are declining rapidly, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
so
Well, and everybody's scrambling to try and figure out what to do.
Well, we point out like you're just trying to make change for change's sake. Well, often they're just trying to figure out something that works.
Yes, yes. And sometimes it really, in my opinion, it's not even needing to find something that works real well. It's just needing to find something that everyone can get behind.
Yeah,
Because once you get the buy-in, that's the biggest thing in any kind of event or project that you want to do in your lodge. It's best to talk with a few past masters ahead of time, a few of the current officers, and some of the other brothers that are common to help out with things, and get the buy-in. And then once you get the buy-in, then everything runs smoother and it ends up being a more successful event.
yeah. So I agree with people not doing change just for change's sake, but I also think, like I said, I think sometimes people are just grasping at straws, I guess. But when we say no change just for change's sake, you're kind of tying their hands sometimes. Granted, I don't think
Right.
like any kind of like when they're having a brainstorm session on the best fundraiser or raffle. I mean, that kind of change is not necessarily going to be a beneficial change, but um, when you say
Well,
old
yeah, and
past master, what do you mean?
people older than me,
Oh,
and
that's
I'm
not
old.
many. That's not many.
And I'm crusty. I look younger than I am, that's for sure.
Scott says, "Hey, Scott Bratson, what's up, Scott? Good to
Hey,
have you.
hey, Scott,
Good to have you."
glad you're able to stay up.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it's and I don't like it when people get shot down because they say, "Oh, you're just changing for change sake," but but at the same time, we ought to all do Freemasonry intentionally.
yep.
But and there's going to be those situations where you know the lodge, if you tried to make it um, more like what Freemasonry has been in the original state, it would be completely different than what we know it as today.
Yep. Ted is gaming. That's his username. Says, "Hey brothers, I just got my Master Mason's degree. So congratulations,
Hey,
Ted.
congratulations!
What state or jurisdiction are you in? Because I'm just curious. But yeah, that's really cool. Congratulations on that.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, Indiana. Very cool. I don't think
Oh, awesome.
I don't think we've had anybody from Indiana yet, have we? The setting thing.
No, not that
Thanks.
said anything.
Yeah, thanks first time. Well, welcome. Glad to
Welcome.
have you.
Glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So
But yeah,
Dennis.
I do think that it would be completely different than anything anyone would recognize. Even going it back, let's say 50 years. Well, you can't really go. It'd have to be longer than that. You got to remember 50 is the 80s. Oh my gosh,
It's not the 80s.
I feel so
That'd be
old.
the 70s.
The 70s. Yeah, but I still feel so.
I
Go
think
ahead.
it even still looked different then, though. I mean, there was a time
Oh
when
yeah,
you had to like everything had to be open in Master's Lodge, and you had to call down and all that stuff. So even that would look very different.
right.
The number of people you would see would be different. If you went back 100 years, yeah, I'm sure that'd be different. If you go back to like the moderns and the ancients and like how they did their degrees before they came together, I'm sure you see similarities, but I'm sure that would appear very different too.
Right, right.
Like
Well,
Freemasonry,
back then there wasn't even a Master Mason's degree yet at that point,
yeah, yeah. So
which
Freemasonry has changed a lot over time. We like to think it's this perfect, unchanging thing, right? But that's not the case at all.
no, it's organic. It's totally organic, and if it wasn't, then it would die.
Yeah. Well, there was a time where they were willing to let it be way more organic than it is today.
Yeah, yeah.
See, 80 is
But I
close to
personally,
80s is close to
go ahead.
40. Scott said he'll be 40 in November. Yeah. Yeah, I was born in 83. I turned 40 in June. I'm old now, Scott.
Yeah, y'all are the age of my little cousins. But if you look on the wall, every time I go to a lodge, I always look at the past masters. And you can always tell when when that time came that people started getting lackadaisy with their dress, with their attire, with their the way they carried themselves, with the way the lodges, the trends that the lodges were taking, because you'll see it in those pictures. I always love it when I go to a lodge and I see, suits all the way across the board. But normally in a lot of these lodges in the 70s is where you see the big change start to happen.
I was thinking the 90s. I'll have to look. I see what you're saying, and I'll have to be more attentive next time I'm looking. But I usually, when I'm looking at like the past masters, because I was thinking about it as you were saying it, like the 70s, you see them in suits, and up to the 80s. I think around the 90s, to me personally, from my experience, like the 90s, kind of the mid 90s maybe, is when it just started. Oh, you're talking about like past masters, like on the wall, right?
Right, when you see them start going slack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's when, but who knows? It might be a regional thing too, because you're rural also, so who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Devin,
that's probably.
Devin McLean's here. What's up, Devin? Ted will be 19 in January. Wow. So you jumped right in. That's good. That's really good. Um, Scott says it happened in the 80s from his lodge. Maybe it was in the 80s. Who knows? Scott Smith said, I'm glad you started young, Ted. Learn all you can. Drink deep from the fountain of knowledge your lodge provides. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Scott
Yep.
says late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, maybe. So you might have been right about that, Dennis. Like I said,
Yeah, that's when
I'll have to look more closely.
you got to start looking for the longer tails on the collar.
Mm-hmm.
The line,
Yeah,
and that's it. And then you'll know what era that is.
Disco Inferno in the background.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Very cool. So
Man, I love the Bee Gees.
let's talk about the Dallas Scottish Rite, because I'm excited about that.
Yes, yes, brothers. It's getting close to reunion time for the Scottish Rite. In Dallas, they have 3 weekends that they do the reunions on. You can do just the terminal degrees on the last weekend, I believe, but if you want to see all the degrees performed, which I recommend to anybody that joins the Scottish Rite, that's the only way to do it, in my opinion. See the most degrees you can, because they are so impactful and beautiful. Even if it's like drinking from a water hose. Number one, so you're not going to retain everything, but they're so beautiful, and the messages that you do receive, it just makes all that much more difference when you receive them, seeing them in the play form.
Mm-hmm.
But in Dallas, it starts September 30th, and so the first weekend is September 30th, and then it goes to the 7th, and then let me make sure I got that right. I think that's right. Yes, the 30th, the 7th, and then the 28th. So they go 2 weekends, they skip a weekend, and then they skip 2 weekends. They go 2 weekends, skip 2 weekends, and then do the final one on the last weekend. And that's the one that you can do the terminal degrees also.
So if you go to Corpus this weekend for the Masonic Improvement Summit, enjoy that. You got a whole week to take a break, right? And then the weekend after, you can start going through Scottish Rite. So if you haven't done it, I'm planning on doing it. I haven't got Scottish Rite yet, so I'm going to try to
Down it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so that's my plan. On the 30th, I'm going to be there in Dallas.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you're gonna love it. I had a brother contact me yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he said there's a couple of us that are thinking about doing it over here in Eagle Pass. He said, what do you feel like the difference is between the Scottish Rite and the York Rite? And man, he asked all the right questions for me, because it's such a huge difference. The York Rite, it is an extension right out of Blue Lodge, but with that extension, it can often in a lot of lodges, it can often be the same experience as the Blue Lodge. So it's a little bit different, but besides the drill team, it can oftentimes be a lot like the same experience that you have in the Blue Lodge. So, and then the Scottish Rite, it's definitely the University of Freemasonry. I mean, you get so much extra information that you would not get otherwise. That yeah, if you're into the education side of things, then that's the way to go.
So
But yeah, he asked me for a petition. I got 2 guys coming, 2 more.
the 30th is also apparently when they're having their outdoor Order of the Temple here in North Texas for Commandery. So, I mean, either way, you got something to be at. Oh,
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
it is going
If
to be
you're,
cool. I
if
really
you,
wanted to go to
yeah,
that.
if you're not in Scottish Rite and part of that, then yeah, I would recommend that because that's going to be a cool degree.
Yep. What's
Our
up, Oscar?
our Scottish Rite is on the 17th and 18th, I believe, or it's the 13th and 14th.
So if anybody's
Hold
going
on.
to go to,
October 13th and 14th.
if anyone's going to be at Dallas for the Scottish Rite Festival, I'll see you there. York Rite is where it's at. Yeah, well, not every.
Was that
organization-
Charles?
No, that was
Was
Seth
that-
Spangler.
Oh my gosh.
I know York Rite is the University of Freemasonry, but I want to broaden my horizons and try, explore some other things also. So
Right. Well, the reason I asked if that was Charles is because I know that he loves the York Rite. Though him and his brother are both members of the Scottish Rite and very active as well. So, but I know that they love the York Rite as well. Up in Lubbock, it's York Rite country for sure.
oh yeah, definitely. Up in Lubbock.
Yep.
Well, I mean that's where Fluff is. He's all
Well, they-
York Rite.
Nah, but they did some awesome things. When Charles and his brother jumped into the York Rite, they really decided to make a difference when they got into Freemasonry up in Lubbock. They really decided to make a difference and make Freemasonry relevant in their community, and they have. That's it's all it takes is a few dedicated brothers to really turn the ship around, and they did up in Lubbock for sure.
Yeah, they're doing good things there.
In fact, it's a lot like what Seguin's doing right now with the York Rite as well, and they just started a new AMD council also, which is where I'll be on September 30th, supporting them starting up their new council.
Seth, are you Scottish Rite? It says you need to be more involved, so I assume that means you are, but I didn't know if you were or not. So, well, I don't know if any of my
Yeah, but
friends
if you're
will be there.
Waco Scottish Rite, it doesn't.
Seth's not Waco.
Where
Seth Spangler?
where is that? Yeah.
It's like
Where are you
Paris-
at?
Paris area? Where do you
Oh,
live at,
that's
Seth?
right. That's way up there.
Paris.
That's up north of Denison. That's
Yeah.
right there on the border.
He's. I don't think it's on the border.
It dang sure is close.
Paris?
Yes.
I don't think it's. Well, maybe it is. So Charles says you give us too much credit. They've had many good mentors and many good brothers. Well, absolutely, but it takes a team to do all that. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all are good at getting the buy-in. People love you and they believe in you. And yeah, you're right. It does take a team, but y'all are good at rallying the troops and getting people motivated. And I think that you should accept that and be proud of that because that's what we need in Freemasonry today.
yeah. Devin McLean says from what he's learned about the York Rite, it's a nice cup of tea, at least at the moment. Yeah, that's and to each their own. I mean, some people do the York Rite and just don't do Commandery. There's a pretty big contingent of brothers that are kind of anti-Commandery, and I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't fault them for it. So there's a lot of brothers that do like chapter and council, but just not Commandery. And there is some people that's like York Rite's not at all interesting to me, and that's okay too. That's the thing about Freemasonry is, especially now that I kind of started exploring some of these other appendant bodies, is like there's options for everybody, right? Just don't neglect your Blue Lodge, but there's other options for everybody everywhere. Now, if the Blue Lodge was offering the value that it was promised, you might not have all
I was
going
going
to
to say you need to watch what you say there because if Blue Lodge isn't giving you your Freemasonry, you need to get it somewhere, and don't ever stay with something that you don't like.
Yeah.
Ever.
Agreed.
Ever. If they're not filling your cup, then find somebody that's going to fill your cup, because that's what it's all about. You need to be challenged.
Yeah. If you're blue, like, well, I guess my point is, I know a lot of people go on to other bodies and kind of neglect the Blue Lodge because it wasn't offering what they're looking for. But there's a Blue Lodge somewhere that offers what you're looking for, and you should support that, as well as, I mean, if
when you come to South Texas, let's just make a trip around all the Blue Lodges.
When I come to South Texas,
you'll retract that statement.
You might have to drive away.
Just kidding.
You might have to drive
Just
away.
kidding.
You weren't kidding.
I actually I enjoy. See, I'm a little different. You know, when somebody says don't neglect your Blue Lodge, it's like, whatever, dude. I enjoy everybody's Blue Lodge because I travel constantly to other Blue Lodges. I very rarely am I stepping foot in my lodge.
Yeah.
I'm usually traveling everywhere else. Though I do serve on committees for the lodge and I support my lodge, but it's but I'm traveling so much that my Blue Lodge Freemasonry comes from other Blue Lodges that I'm not a member of, and that's okay.
But you're not neglected the Blue Lodge.
I pay my dues.
No, I mean, you're still okay. You're still active in Blue Lodge Masonry. It may not be like where you have your dues card at, right? But you're still
right.
Blue Lodge
But
Masonry.
I still haven't found any that really provide all the things that I'm looking for, like I get out of certain independent bodies.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is, and we've talked about it lots of times. You know, it's the same mentality as the business leader, the CEO or the vice president of the company that joins Freemasonry, and they say, you know, why am I spending my time with people that aren't going to help me improve?
Yep. Scott Bratson says you should come see them. I assume you're talking
Where
about.
You at, Scott?
I assume you're talking about Sol Ross, Scott.
Yeah.
Or St. Albans, either one. They're both great.
I think that's where it is.
Well, he's up.
And I would love to.
They both meet in the same.
I always
building.
end up. Yeah. Every time y'all have a festive board, I end up being having some other thing going on every time. I don't even know why, but I always end up having something going on. But I would love to. In fact, it's on my bucket list.
It's on your bucket list. Sol Ross,
Yep.
yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was at their festive board last year. I mean, I drove all the way to College Station, and then turned around, drove back. But I mean, you do you,
Yeah.
Dennis. You do you.
Yeah. You keep telling yourself, show those feathers, Peacock. If you want to go up to Washington State with me and give a presentation right next to me, then you can.
Ew, Washington State.
Or New Mexico, or
Ew,
Arkansas.
it's humid there. It's always raining. Oscar says he's got his hotel room booked. He's got time off from work. He says he requested time off work. You don't request it. You tell them, I will not be there this
That's
day.
right.
So
I can already tell. I'm going to be sick that day.
Yeah.
I've actually told my boss that before. I told him, look, man, I need the day off. If you don't give it to me, I'm just gonna be sick. I can tell you, because I'll be sick that I didn't get the day off. But I'll be sick, and I will not be there.
Scott says they have a Master Mason degree coming up soon. So you should definitely be there, Dennis. I mean, you talk all this talk, now you got to walk the walk.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to? Never mind.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about the road less traveled.
Yeah. So, have you been there before to Sol Ross at all?
No, I haven't. At all? That's why I said I want to go. No, that's why I want to go.
Yeah.
When is the master's degree coming up?
He doesn't say. Yeah, let us know. Let us know. When
I just asked him.
Well,
you might not, expect Justin to come, but I may be over. I'm looking at my calendar right now. Just let me know.
Yeah,
But this weekend, this coming weekend we have the summit, and then the very next week I'm going to give a presentation at Triune Lodge,
Where's that?
and then that's in San Antonio.
Oh, he says they haven't planned it yet. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, when you plan
And
it,
then
let Dennis know. I'll make sure he makes it. I'll hold him accountable.
and then early October I've got at Washer Lodge.
Nat Washer? So what you
Yep.
said?
Yep.
The haunted one? The haunted lodge?
Yep.
The spooky one? Yeah, he said he'll let us know. That'd be cool. Yeah, I don't have anything else planned until next year. Early next year. So.
Man,
Yeah.
I could use a break like that. Oh, November 4th is the binational conference in El Paso where brothers come up from Mexico and
I thought that was earlier
and
this
everybody gets together. No, this is well, they may have had one then, but they're having another one on November 4th. And I've been corresponding with the Grand Lodge of Tanaroo. I'm the grand representative for that Grand Lodge, and hopefully they'll be coming up there. If they come up, then I'm going to go ahead and go out to El Paso.
Charles Smith.
That's the weekend after I go to Arkansas, so it's going to be tough.
Charles Smith says, Dennis, I get my golden trial on the 20th of October. Congratulations.
Man, that's
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
And
That
you
is
deserve it.
I mean, I don't know why you're just telling Dennis. I mean, I care too, but whatever. This is the only golden trial I got. This is actually my granddad's. It's the only one I got. So when he passed away, I got all this Masonic stuff. So I got I got my granddad's golden trowel, but I'm just I'm a dirtbag.
He's just a poser.
I'm a poser.
He's just a poser.
No golden trowel. No pass anything.
Charles, Sarah has a competition that weekend in at Cedar Park up north of Austin, so I won't be able to make it to that one. But I'll be coming up soon because she's got another competition in Lubbock coming up pretty soon, and I'll be going to that. So I will make sure, and we'll have to make sure and get together when I come up there, for sure.
For sure. Surely.
Don't call me Shirley.
I've been seeing.
I love that movie.
I've been seeing clips of Leslie Nelson lately, and that dude was like,
yeah,
a classic. Like everything he did was just so funny.
Yeah, he was awesome at the one-liners.
Oscar Cordova says, "What's it mean to get a golden trowel?" I don't know. I haven't got one. I never will. Did you ever get one, Dennis?
No, I actually don't think I deserve one yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'm eligible, but I don't think I deserve one.
I think you do. I think we often. So I'm gonna, and this isn't directed at Charles by any means. I'm just saying in general. I think lodges give them away really frivolously. A lot of lodges, not most of them.
Yes.
I was actually at St. Albans when I first visited them, and they gave their first golden trowel in like 30 years or however long they had been chartered at that point.
Yes.
And because it was that important, right? But unfortunately, it's just like the title of past master. When everybody's a past master, it doesn't really have value, right? So when you have these lodges that are churning out golden trowels every year,
checking boxes,
then when everybody has a golden trowel, it doesn't have much value. I'm not suggesting that it's not an honor.
That's why I don't want one yet.
Well,
that's why I don't want one yet. I'd like to wait.
So like Dennis says, like he didn't think he's worthy. Well, that depends on your criteria. Like some lodges is like, oh, it's your turn, so you're worthy. And other lodges are like, well, you know, you've been putting work in for 30 years. Here's your golden trowel.
Right. Yeah, I want to be that guy.
Charles Smith, he deserves it, but they're giving it to me. You know, I don't think.
I think you deserve it.
I don't think anyone that thinks they deserve it, if that makes sense.
Right. There you go. I agree. It's just like those invitation-only bodies that, you know, you shouldn't ask about it or you won't be invited.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Charles Smith says, our lodge generally doesn't award them unless the brother's deserving. That's why I don't really feel like I've earned it. Well, I mean, if it's rare, and they awarded it to you, then there's a reason for that, Charles. I mean, but like I said a minute ago, if you don't feel like you
Right.
deserve it, that's probably why you deserve it. I think.
Well,
I
and that,
think that
just like I was saying earlier, him and his brother have stepped up and really um, taken the bull by the horns up there in Lubbock, and that's why he's getting it. I know that's why he's getting
yeah.
it. Go ahead.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. I don't remember. I got distracted by the chat, so I don't remember where I was going with this. Scott said he turned down a golden trowel for a life membership, not an endowed membership. Quite an honor to be the only living life member. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oscar
That
says
is
he was at a Master Mason's degree, and bro got one from his friends from the Philippines. Wow. Yeah, the Golden Trowel is an
nice.
award for brothers that go above and beyond and exemplify Masonry. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not meant for the officers. You have to be a past master to get one, and it's not meant for anyone who currently has any position within the lodge, because their job is to do their job well.
Mm-hmm.
So that shouldn't get them the golden trowel. It really should be for somebody who's out of office and still contributes steadily to the craft. And so that's where the golden trowel really is exemplified in the right way, in my opinion.
But the criteria really is interpreted by each individual lodge. So one lodge may say it's you need to be able to do this and this and this, and then other lodges may be, hey, we gotta give one away this year, and he's the first eligible past master, so he gets one. So
right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so I would rather get it because I travel around and spread the word with so many lodges. I'd rather get it because of that than because of because it's just my time.
Yeah, I agree. Well, he was being raised to Master Mason when he was given one. Well, I don't know. The Golden Trowel?
I don't think so.
From
I
the
don't
Philippines?
think so.
Yeah,
it's not intended for that. It's intended for years of service. It's got to be something else.
He got one from his friends from the Philippines. So if it's from the Philippines, it might be something completely different.
Yeah, maybe they just gave it to him as a gift because it has something to do with the master's degree.
Yeah, unsure. Interesting though.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
But in Texas, it's for the diligent,
for exceptional service. What is exceptional? Well, that's up to the lodge. But yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
No, when my granddad, he had this proudly in his living room for a long time before he passed. So I keep it proudly in my office.
Awesome. Yeah, my poor kids. I buy 2 of everything because I want both of my boys to have mementos equally. And they're gonna have so much crap. I hope they're Masons by the time I, pass away, because they're gonna have so much Masonic crap. It's just unbelievable.
When my grandmother and my grandfather moved out of their house. So my grandmother got to an age where my grandfather couldn't take care of her. So she went to the nursing home, and he went to like an not assisted living, but like apartments for older people, pretty much across the street, so he can go visit her regularly. Right. But anyway, so he had to consolidate.
That's assisted.
Is it? Okay. But they had to get rid of a lot of things. And so I remember going through his house, and other family members have already been there, and there was like trash bags everywhere. And I found like the Golden Trowel was in a trash bag, and he had some other Masonic stuff that no one knew what it was, and they just were throwing it away. And so my point is, like, it's good to have things that leave people, but it's important that they know what it is, right? Otherwise, because these people, they didn't care. I mean, they're crappy people anyway, honestly. But it wasn't important.
I've told
to them,
y'all
so
before here. I'm gonna, go ahead and keep talking.
No, it's fine. I was done.
I'm going to grab something.
What was your grandfather's name, if you don't mind me asking? It was Horace Taylor, and he was a past master at Grandview 266. What's up, Justin? So he passed
That
away.
that was
He passed away. Uh, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. He was like 95. So I mean, it was sad because I got really close to him. Like, so as long as we're still talking about it, I guess, and Dennis is getting whatever. I was never really close to my granddad until I got out of the Air Force and joined Freemasonry because I didn't realize that he was a Freemason, and so we started all going to lodge together and things, and that really brought us pretty close, especially playing dominoes. Like you don't know a guy till you play dominoes with him, especially an old guy, and
right.
and
Yeah, you'll know their personality quick.
oh yeah, yeah. So I got to know him really good, and I was really close. And I was sad when he passed, but I mean, when you're 95 years old, it's hard to feel. I mean,
That's
I
a
felt
full life.
it's a full life, exactly. Like my grandmother had already passed away probably like 10 years before then. I mean, he was just kind of just hanging out basically, until it was his time. So I mean, it was sad. I miss him, but I mean, like you said, 95. That's a full life. It's hard to feel bad for it. You know what I mean?
If you're a master mason, I recommend this book.
Uh,
This if you want to take a nice little walk in the park with Albert Pike on Blue Lodge Freemasonry, get Esoterica. But the reason I grabbed that book is it's one of my $2 books.
mm,
My family knows I use $2 bills as my bookmarks. This one actually has two of them in there. I use $2 bills as my bookmarks, and my family knows that anything with a $2 bill in it is to be passed down to the boys.
and anything with a $3 bill in it is to be burned, so no one ever knows what you're reading.
It's to be left with Justin Jones.
This is what I'm. So we're talking about books. This is what I'm still on. This thing is not very thick, but it is a beast. Like the content in it
What
is
is it?
so dense. Masonic Magician. I've been
Oh
chewing
yeah,
on
I've
this
heard about
thing.
that
Feels
one.
like for forever. I mean, it's interesting,
I haven't gotten it yet. I was planning on it.
but there's just so much content to it. Like the first fourth is just going over Cagliostro's life. It's about Count Cagliostro, but
Uh huh.
but the first fourth is just going over like his life, and now it's kind of breaking that down. But I mean, it's very interesting. But oh my gosh, like this thing is so dense. I really just want to get to the part because it's about the Egyptian rite that he was going around Europe talking about, and
Yep.
so we have there's some rituals that we have that belong to that. So I really want to get into that and read about that. But man, this thing is dense. But it's a good
Nice.
book.
Nice. Yeah, I've been working on writing my book all weekend. And in fact, speaking of books, two of our speakers are authors, and one of them, Bradley Kohanke, he's going to be speaking on the mystery schools, the ancient mystery schools, and it's one of his favorite topics. It's one of my favorite topics as well, and this is going to be his last time to speak on this topic because he's got a new book that's going to come out soon, and it's about the ancient mystery schools. He already has one that's kind of like the chicken soup for the soul of Freemasonry. And then Chris Williams is also an author. Both of these guys are my number one and number two mentors. Actually, they kind of share that job together because you know everybody should have multiple mentors because some are better at some things and some are better at the other things, and together they build you up right. But Chris is also an author, and he wrote all the John Deacon books. That are out there, and you can get them all on Amazon. And he also wrote the book There's No Texas Without Freemasonry.
Hmm.
So we've got two authors that are going to be down there at the summit, and they'll have books with them, and they will be signing books. If you have yours already, they'll be signing books as well, signing the copies as well. So that's another cool thing about this summit is that we actually have um, people that you're reading about, and with some of the best books that I've read. Really,
Yeah.
I love them.
So speaking of which, I posted on the Facebook page in Texas Freemasons, and I'm sure it's been posted other places. I posted the schedule for that day. I mean, it's a full day. It is a full day with lots of stuff. So
Yep.
it's going to be great. And there's going to be, you don't see it on the schedule, but there will be breaks between the presentations. So you'll have time to look at books and talk with the guests and everything.
Yeah, yeah. There's discussion time built into every one of the speakers' topics. So some of them have 30-minute topics. Some of them have around 40-minute topics. And keynote speaker has got an hour and a half on us, and he's the last one. And so while we're making the change to the festive board, while they're setting the tables, we'll be able to sit and talk with him about his stuff. And this isn't just meeting at a lodge and seeing presentations. We're going to have a U-shaped setup of the tables to where everybody is facing the speakers. We've got a podium as well as wireless mics that will be going around so that people can ask their questions and everyone can hear it. We have projectors. We have state-of-the-art sound systems. This is really a well-organized event.
Mm-hmm.
It's a well-put-together event, and I'm so grateful for Alameen Shrine for hosting us and making it such a special place for us. It's really going to be a great event. So if you're not signed up, get signed up.
I've always believed that you're doing the right thing if things just kind of come together, right?
Yeah.
Like the universe moves things so that it aligns, so that it will happen and be successful, and that's what this whole event has been like. I mean, it started with an idea, just an idea, and I mentioned it to Dennis last year, and Dennis.
No, it was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, we talked about it ourselves before we ever said anything online, and then.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, so I mentioned Dennis, and I told him because we were talking about doing it, and I wanted to wait longer, and Dennis wanted to do it. And I told him, okay, but it's going to have to be you. I'm going to have to rely heavily on you because I just do not have the time. I don't have the time or the resources to make it happen right now. And Dennis kind of moved into Masonic improvement, and I mean he made it happen. This is all Dennis's hard work, but it's also lots of supportive brothers that have came up and volunteered time, resources to help make this happen. Like the stars have aligned for this event, and that's how I know that this is important and it's meant to happen. I mean, the if you look at the guest lineup, the place we're going to be hosting it, Alamin. I mean, the location, everything's just aligned, and it just happens to be on the same day that the Knights of Mecca are conferring the master's degree on the Lexington. I mean, it's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence, and so if you got a ticket, just know that you're going to be at something that's really going to be special. And if you are on the fence, or if you haven't got a ticket yet, and I mean. This is going to be special. Things don't line up like this unless it's going to be something big, and so I'm very excited. I'm and I said this all year, but I'm very excited. This is going to be huge, and I'm very pleased that something that started off as a grumpy past master ranting in a blog that no one cared about, or I didn't think anyone cared about, into something like this. But it couldn't happen. It couldn't happen without Dennis, without everyone else that stepped up and to come speak and volunteer their time, and all of you, and just the serendipity of everything lining up like it has. So, like I said, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, this is the epitome of what we discuss all the time. In fact, we discussed the dress the dress code per se for the event and all that earlier this week, and you know it's it's a it's a higher scale thing. It's not your Blue Lodge. You're meeting all the leaders of Texas and the surrounding states. You're meeting some of the most influential people um, within all these bodies, and
Yeah.
we're just I feel pretty lucky that I can call all these brothers my close friends. That's these are people that I can always just call at any time, and they're going to pick up and help me through whatever I'm trying to get through.
Yeah.
And it just goes to it just kind of reinforces what Justin and I talk about all the time about, finding your people, traveling, doing what you got to do to fill your cup, because you find your people, and then, they're there for you no matter what. And this is just the perfect example of how important it is for us to travel and be the brother that we want to receive as brothers. And then things like this happen, and everybody just says, yeah. You call and you say, hey, man, I really stuck my foot in it this time. Can you help me out? And yes, I'm all in. What day? I mean, even, Tom Ramsey and Robert Park are two of the most elusive people that I know. I mean, Robert, if you can get him to answer his phone at any given time, you're very fortunate. And Jim, he's and that's because he's busy all the time. And Jim is the same way, right? They're so busy all the time. And everybody's pulling that fruition and whatnot. And man, I asked them, and immediately they said yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I was talking about in one of my prep.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was talking in one of my states when he told me that there was no support for the Lexington degree. I immediately said yes. And I didn't say if within length of my cable toe. If, I immediately said yes. And every one of these brothers did the same thing. They didn't hem-haw around. They didn't say, well, let me see if I can make it happen. Let me see. And we're talking about grand masters, deputy grand masters, grand senior deacon, well, he'll still be junior warden, grand junior warden. I mean, we're talking about people that are busy every day, every weekend. And when I called, they said yes. Now, this is what you're going to get when you come to this event. And this is why it is an upscale event, because you're going to meet people that say yes to Freemasonry. You're not going to meet people that do it, if it's convenient. These people are the ones that are going out and they're making it happen day in and day out, and they don't accept anything but the best for their Freemasonry. And so that's what you're getting when you come to this event, because it's exactly what Justin and I believe in, what we preach and teach all the time. And I am just super stoked that I get to sit in the crowd with you guys and listen to these guys talk and give their presentation. I love listening to every one of them, and it's going to be even more fun after the degree when we're sitting around chewing the chud and drinking our beverages and just talking Freemasonry. That's my happy place.
Yeah. Let's look at the comments here.
Sorry if I left any room for a breath. You ought to jump in.
Zach Smith's here. He says, "Looks like a tremendous event. Good to see you again." Zach is another one of those that
yes
doesn't get the. I think he's got that servant mentality. Like, he doesn't really want the recognition, but Zach's helped us a lot from the website perspective. And
well, he's always supported us from the very beginning.
He has also,
he's been one of our biggest supporters, and man, we can't help but to appreciate that kind of love.
Yeah.
But Zach is our webmaster. He is our webmaster. That one that we're sending y'all to,
mm-hmm.
He created that from scratch with code, not with cut and paste kind of crap.
And he's working on other things too that are TBA.
Bigger things.
Yeah,
yes.
bigger things.
Yes.
the Masonic Summit website. That's just a taste of what's to come. Like, we're very grateful to you, Zach. We appreciate you. Oscar Cordova asked if there's going to be vendors with Masonic merch. There'll be the books. I know Mickey's going to be there. Is Mickey bringing anything?
Yes, Mickey will have stuff to sell. I'll have all my stuff there to sell.
You might double check with Mickey because he said he was just bringing the. It sounded like he was just planning on bringing the donation item. But if
Well,
he's
he
got
better
stuff,
bring some knives.
yeah, I was gonna say if he's got stuff, I really
Yeah, he
feel
better
like it'd be a
get
missed
this.
opportunity.
I'll reach out to him
Okay,
tomorrow.
yeah, please do because he makes some great stuff, and I want him to have the opportunity.
Yeah, I'll sell my knife if he doesn't have any. I'll let him double dip on that.
David Lawson says it shows the desire of a group of dedicated Masons to improve Masonry in Texas and other states as well. I agree, and I think it also
Yes.
shows that there's a not just a desire to improve, but there's a desire for this kind of event, this kind of content. I know MasonicCon it provides things. However, I don't think one or two or even three such events could fulfill every Texas Mason. We're a huge state. Scheduling always doesn't work out. Location didn't always work out. So there's definitely a lot of demand for these kind of things, I think.
Well, and it's just like lodges, independent bodies. I mean, there's differences in all of them. Our leadership perspective is not the same as officer leadership training that Grand Lodge puts on.
I agree.
We're not talking nuts and bolts stuff. We're talking inspirational, big picture stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I
And then
it's different than OLT, and it's different than MasonicCon, and it's different than the Chicago MasonicCon that Robert's going to be at. Robert Marshall. They each have their own unique personality, right? So this is a totally different beast.
yeah, he was already scheduled to be at that one, or he would have been at ours.
Yeah. I give him
I
crap
think
for
next
it.
year I'll just have to lowbrow him into coming and being one of our speakers.
Well, anytime Robert
But he's
speaks,
another
it's always
close
good too.
friend of ours. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Daniel Dutton says he's looking forward to being there and meeting all the attendants. The hotel is booked, and the weekend will be great. Absolutely.
Yes, it will.
And I was gonna say I'm gonna be there. I'm getting there Friday. So if anyone's there at the hotel Friday night, I'm not staying up late because it's gonna be a big day, Saturday. But if y'all want
Yeah.
to hang out a little bit before bedtime, for night,
Yeah,
I'll be glad
I'll
to.
be there. I'll be there Thursday night, and then get up early Friday and get busy up at the temple getting ready for the event. And then yeah, there's a few of us that are talking about getting dinner or something. So we'll see how that goes.
But definitely, if you ever go to an event, do not share a hotel room with Dennis because that
With
dude
Justin.
snores. That dude snores so bad.
He, oh my gosh, he's like you're killing a pig. If you hear him in the other room, I shut the door. I turned on the TV on golf so I wouldn't have to listen to him, and he still sounded like a dying pig.
Yeah,
was
well, I told
scary.
you I snore.
I was
told you.
scared.
I probably need to have like 2 or 3 sleep apnea machines hooked up to my face.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's so
snore. I
funny.
snore bad. I wake myself up sometimes, like pretty bad.
Yeah, I feel bad for your wife, man. I have a lot more respect for that woman.
What's crazy is my kids come to bed every night. They crawl in bed with us. It's like, why would you come to the source of that noise? You should stay away.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Trenton Tupin is here. Tupin.
And
I'm sorry,
he'll be down there. He's coming
Yeah,
down.
he's coming. And yeah, he says he's excited. He's ready for the weekend. Oscar says, so I know in the last video you were talking about the other brothers coming from other states. Do you know how many brothers are coming from the South Texas area that are going? Frankly, Oscar, we've sold so many tickets within the last week. I don't know anymore. Like,
I know. I need to get on there and look and see where they're coming.
yeah. I pulled up I was just looking at emails earlier. I didn't really look where they're coming from. But yeah, I mean, originally it was to be frank, like starting off, a lot of people from Arkansas and New Mexico bought up tickets right away, like
Yeah.
within like the first month, and then it was kind
Yeah.
of quiet for a while, and now ticket sales have taken off like crazy again. So I don't know. I don't know where they're coming from. I think most of them are Texas at this point, but I don't know. I do know
Yeah.
this. I do know this. No one's except for me is coming from Masonic District 62. So calling them out.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
It's kind of crazy when you got people from entire states coming, but not from your own lodges or your own district. But it says a
Yeah.
lot, I think,
Yeah.
more about the state of things. Um, Charles Smith says Tim and him are driving on Friday, and then Trent says he'll be at the Hampton Inn right down the road.
Yeah. So will Sandy Newman. He'll be down there over there also.
Cool.
There are going to be some people over there as well. So, yeah, that's, that's a good place to stay as well. So if you, don't want to be on the beach, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's a good place to stay.
yeah, it's gonna be good. So
It's 5 minutes from where we are. Tops.
yeah, we're all gonna be close by, so that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm driving.
The big thing is trying to figure out, I don't know how many wives are coming yet, so it's hard to gauge what to do for them. Um, but I'm still going to work something out so that they have something to do. But I think that anyone who does bring their spouse, um, at least take them out to dinner on Friday night.
Yeah.
There's a nice Japanese restaurant right there in downtown Corpus it's really nice. It's good food too.
Oh, that's good advice. Might do that. Yeah, if I
Yep.
take my wife all the way to Corpus, one of the very few times where I get to travel without all the kids, if I don't take her somewhere nice, I'll probably be in trouble.
I'm really disappointed that the place where I had my honeymoon, or not my honeymoon, my wedding reception, the Heataville, is now out of business. And it's a 3-story place right on the beach, right next to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would have rented out that for the whole event if it was still open. We could have taken up the second and third floor on that one.
Yeah. Um, Looking at the comments here. Trenton's got 2 nights for free because of his reward points. And Oscar says he's bringing his wife plus his sister-in-law. So that's good. Charles is bringing his son and his brother's family will be there. So, yeah, I mean,
Nice.
it's going to be a good time, man.
Very nice. And Sarah's looking forward to hanging out with Noah too. She was talking about him today, saying, "I can't wait to see him. It's been so long." Yeah, that's one of the other cool things about traveling with Freemasonry. When you take your kids and you know,
Hmm.
a lot of things change in life these days. People move around for work all the time, and kids aren't always as settled in one place for a long time as they used to be.
Yeah.
But Sarah has friends all over the state that no matter where we go, she's got kids to play with, and these are real friends that will always be there. They're there. No matter where they move to within the state for work or whatever, we're probably going there at some point during the year, and they'll get to see each other. There's several friends like that. I love that about this fraternity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You like traveling with kids. I like being able to travel quietly. I'm sure when my kids are older,
I do travel quietly. I don't know what your problem.
I guess yours are more bold. My kids are like me. That's the issue, Dennis. That's why. Your kids are your daughter's a normal civilized human, and my children are primal ADD creatures, just like their dad.
Nice.
I may appear to have it all together, but that took years to create that facade. Of being a normal functional human.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah. So what else is on your mind?
I don't know. I was writing about the cardinal virtues in Freemasonry this weekend, and I was really focused more on the. So let's move into some esoteric. I was really thinking more on the lines of justice. So I'm sitting there, I'm driving down the road, and I'm listening to the radio, and me, I'm a music man, right? So every memory that I have is attached to a song. So when I'm driving down the road and listening to classic rock, man, I'm reliving events in my head as I'm going down the road,
Yeah, I do that
and
sometimes.
some of them are magnificent events, and some of them are the hardest times I've ever had in my life. And I'm sitting there thinking about that, and I'm thinking about how just uh, life is in and if you think about the hermetic principle of the degrees, um, the principle of degrees, the reason that you even understand the hurt that's this bad is because you had the good that was exactly the opposite. So if on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say your joy was an 8, that's why you're able to understand that pain
Mm.
that's an 8. If your joy only ever got to a 2, the only kind of joy that you would ever experience in life would be an I mean, if your joy was a 2, the pain would only be a -2, right?
Yeah.
Because that's as far as you can understand. It's as far as your mind comprehends. But with the time factor, when you throw in the time factor, it it lessens the gap in between those two. So the pain may stop hurting a little bit, but along with that, you're going to lose a little bit of the joy that you had back then too. It all disappears. Time is not, time is not, has no prejudice.
Well,
So,
there's times in my life I can think of like it felt like I never felt anything like that in my life. Like I couldn't at times see how anything could ever be more painful than that. And then 10, 15 years looking back is like that was the big deal I thought it was.
right, right. And we, a lot of times, we dismiss people's feelings when they're going through a painful situation and say, "Yeah, I know how you feel,"
Hmm.
but you really don't know how they feel. It's like the guy, you know, one guy has had 30 girlfriends, and one guy's only had that one. So this one guy, after he broke up with this girlfriend that he really liked, wasn't the same as the guy that was dedicated to that one girl for all that time, right? It's not the same kind of pain. So it it's really unfair for anyone to say, "I know how you feel." All we should be saying is "I hear you, brother, and what can I do to help you?
Well, I mean,
How can I be there for you?"
has it ever made anybody feel better? Just saying, I know how you feel.
No,
Like,
not me.
no, me either. Me either. I mean, honestly, if I'm like having a tough time or someone's like, yeah, well, I dealt with that before. I just got over it. Something like that. It's like that didn't make it feel better. It makes kind of makes me angry. Um,
Right, right.
so we have a question here in the chat, and I'm not gonna try to pronounce that username, but it says possibly a weird question. I'm wanting to join and have reached out to my local lodge, and they say they gather on the third Monday of the month. Is that the time to go ask about a petition? It depends on the lodge. And what I mean by that is that some lodges will give you a petition as soon as you ask, and then others will might want you to wait for a while. I would recommend before you ask for a petition. Um, I mean,
Feel them out.
yeah. Do what? Wait, what'd you say?
Feel them out.
Fill them out. And so
Make it a courting process.
go to that lodge and see if that actually if the guy's there, if you feel like you relate to them, if you enjoy going, I'd probably pick a few lodges. I don't know where you live, but I'd probably pick a few lodges that you could travel to on a regular basis that you'd be comfortable with, and visit all of them before you decide this is the one I want to petition. Now, if you're out in like some really rural place and you don't have that option, I would still go visit it for a while just before I ask for that petition. Or you can still ask, but I'd wait before I turned it in. But I mean, good on you for taking the initiative. Definitely.
Yeah, and that is what you do is you go on the third Thursday and you visit with the people there, get to know them. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Get to know them, let them get to know you, and see if it's a good fit.
Yeah. Hey, our
And
pleasure. Glad
and
to be helpful.
yeah, that's why I wouldn't ask for the petition until after I've visited with them several times, just to make sure that it's the right fit because you're going to be attached to that lodge forever, really. You always have your mother lodge.
Yeah. I mean, you could always demit,
And,
but it's still your mother lodge. Like that's where you got your degrees at.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure it's going to be the most special it can be for you.
Yep. But yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I like what you're talking about, though, Dennis. That's very good. Oh, here comes Kadeem. Next week is this week. This weekend. This coming weekend.
This weekend we're at the first day of the week,
Yeah,
sir.
Sunday's the first day of the week, Kadeem. Don't you go next weekend. This weekend. If you go next weekend, you can be disappointed. Yeah, but Trenton, and said he's riding with Kadeem, Thomas Sawyer, and Robert Weston
Oh,
together.
very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I love road trips with my brothers. That's when Freemasonry happens. You start talking about everything, and yeah,
Uh,
even if you disagree, you're stuck in that car together, so you have to hash it out. So I love those moments.
Devin McLean says he finally got the petition. He's so glad he actually took the time instead of just having it handed to him the first day. Yeah. David Lawson says, understand though the lodge may have parameters to when they give a petition. Don't take that as a bad thing. I actually take that as a good thing. Because if that
Yeah,
means
I
that
take that as a good thing.
if they're being, because if they have, here's the reason. Because if they have a procedure for that, they have procedures for everything else. And it's not just done willy-nilly. Like they know what their goals is, they know what their expectations are, and everything aligns with that. So I would take that as a really good thing if they expect you to come for a while before you got it.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
He says he's in Nashville. They got Grand Lodge there, but he's looking at Franklin Lodge number 7. Wow, that's a small number. That's an old lodge.
Yes.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Brad Paisley's a Mason out there and active in the Scottish Rite out there as well. Just
Kadeem
a little
says,
FYI.
because he says
FYI.
Monday doesn't start the week. No. Well, depends on who you ask, I guess. I like to think Sunday starts the week because I like to start my weekend with. I like to start my week with a day off. So I just say Sunday's the first day of the week. So
Yep.
I cap my week with a day off. I got Sunday off and then Saturday off. Because then I don't have to dread Monday because actually the first day is Sunday. Otherwise you're dreading Monday because
Right.
it's the first day of the week. Head games.
I don't
Man.
dread any day.
I don't either really. I love teaching, but some people do. Um,
I love waking up.
Yeah, Devin says he totally gets the music thing. He relives memories too through them, especially the classic rock. Dude, like oh, what's that song? There's like so many songs that have like real, like they trigger memories for me. Like "Closing Time" by Supersonic.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, I got some very specific, very fond memories of that kind of thing. Which is why, if you live in a jurisdiction that allows music during degrees, that's beneficial because you link memories with things like sound and
yeah. It's
smell.
multi-sensory
The other
learning.
senses. Yeah. So there are lodges that, not in Texas, of course, but if they use the incense, you're going through your degree and you smell like sandalwood, for example. I don't know if that's what they use. I'm just throwing it out there. Then you're going to associate sandalwood with that degree moving on for the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah. The familiar smells. Yeah,
Yeah.
Much rather it be jasmine or sandalwood than some of the smells I've smelled
Yeah.
in the past.
Yeah, there's some. Did y'all talk about the ornament of Scottish Rite? Order the ornament. By the way, Kadeem, I'm planning on going to the Dallas Scottish Rite for their reunion this year, and I know you went last year, so I hope I see you. I better be there.
Actually, I would like to say something on that. It is such a wonderful thing. This past weekend, yesterday, we had the Scottish Rite Honors. Um, that's where you get your red cap or your white cap, and these are honors because they're earned.
Hmm.
You don't just get one after being there so much time or anything like that.
So what
This is
cap do
something
you
that's
get
really,
when you get your
really
degrees?
thought out. What?
What color
You get a
cap?
black cap,
A black cap. Okay.
black, yes. And then if you become Knights of St. Andrew, you get the Glengarry like I have. Um, but that's an honorary group within the Scottish Rite, and you have to be invited to become a member of uh, of the Knights of St. Andrew. And Dallas does have as well, so that could be a possibility for you in the future. But this weekend were the honors for KCCH, um, which is the red cap, and then the 33rd degree, which is a white cap. And they all the degrees were done in Dallas. In fact, one of my buds from down here in Corpus, Mike King, he drives all the way up to Dallas at every reunion to be a part of the reunions. He's a member of the Scottish Rite in Dallas, and he'll leave at 4 a.m., go up to the Scottish Rite, do the degrees, and then drive home that same night if he has to. I mean, he's a workhorse. But he went up this weekend to confer the degrees for those honors. And the 33rd degree, you don't have to do it in Dallas. You're actually, um, it's such an honor that if you can afford to go up to Washington, D.C., they'll actually perform that degree on you in Washington, D.C. at the
Wow.
House of the Temple.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yes, that's the real deal right there. And then you actually sign a book in Washington and to go in, being a part of history. And there's not many names on that book. The white hat, they only give two of those out every other year, and the red hat, I think they only give two of those out each year.
Nice. Very cool.
Now I'm a
See, that's
Knights
what
of
makes
St.
it special,
Andrews.
though.
Yes,
There's not. It's not like every. There's only a few map per year, as
right.
opposed to like what we were talking about earlier, with like the Golden Trowel. That's why it's so prestigious. Is so few people get it.
Right. With a membership of 1,200 members in your valley, like San Antonio, then well, it's a little more than that, I think. But with that many members, and there only being two that are getting that honor from the valley, and that's freaking special.
Yeah.
And both of the red caps came out of my Knights of St. Andrew group, and
Mm.
I'm very proud of them.
Um, Devin McLean here says most good things don't come easy. They shouldn't. They shouldn't come easy.
Right.
Trenton says pissing the night away. So he's talking about songs. So Chumbawamba, I think that was. I hadn't thought about that group a long time. That I have a memory associated with that because I used to hang out with my cousins and stuff along the weekends, and we were driving down the highway and that song came on and we are all like headbanging to it and like having an awesome time. And I look behind us and like traffic's backed up like as far as you can see because we're going like 30 miles an hour and it's 60. We had a fun time.
That's
The people
funny.
behind us didn't, but yeah, that was good. Um, yeah, burning. Talking about incense, burning sage. Actually, I can't do burning sage. It kind of repels me, but I mean that's good for some people though.
Yeah. When you equate yourself to an insect,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Uh, David Lawson says Devin talking to Devin. He's hoping to confer his first degree. That's so cool. We got that dynamic going on here.
yeah, awesome.
But we also,
When
if
I
you remember, we kind of hooked them up too. I think
Yep, I
we
remember.
played hookup.
I When I was master in my lodge, I made it a point to learn how to confer the degrees of the members that went through the chairs. A lot of times, you have your degree teams and they have their own masters that'll do the job, and everybody has their normal spots and this and that. But when I became master of my lodge, I decided to to learn the work myself because I wanted to perform the duties of the master properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that from the senior deacon's position as well. I always did my position in the lodge when I was going through,
Well,
and
that's ideal. That's what you should be doing ideally.
yeah, that's the way the lodges should be run. But yeah, that was I really enjoyed that time. Now I couldn't tell you I could probably do the EA and fellowcraft, right off the top of my head now,
Mm-hmm.
but after a little bit of practice, but the masters I wouldn't be able to anymore.
I've done so many lectures that that's really all I do anymore. Like if you, I could give a lecture like right now, but if you asked me to like confer a degree, it would take me a while to get back over it.
Well, yeah, that's because nobody does remembers the lectures. So
Well,
those who know the lectures, they're always doing the lectures.
well, also I do the walk-in lecture for the fellowcraft, and that's super popular. So like anytime there's a fellowcraft lecture anywhere around here, they I get asked to do it, which I love to do it. Don't get me wrong, that's why I learned it the way I did. But as far as like, and I could probably confer a fellowcraft. I think that's probably the simplest degree to confer. I think it's the most important degree, but it's also very straightforward. But I mean, my focus is just every time there's a degree, I'm focusing on lectures. So I mean, I
Yeah.
got an A cert. I'm a district instructor, but everyone it's always the lectures, and that's kind of what I prefer to do at this point because
Nowadays, I don't even participate in degrees unless I'm asked, because I enjoy just sitting back and closing my eyes and listening to it and going back through it and just taking the little bits of esoterica out of it as I'm listening to it.
Mhm.
I I really enjoy that nowadays.
So apparently, I don't know if you're like in the Tool, but apparently Tool has a whole lot of like esoterica, like music esoterica. You ever heard of
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tool is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they were awesome before, but it's very interesting. Like I guess Fibonacci came out with musical notes or something. I'm not a music guy by any means, but it's pretty cool learning about that. Kadeem says it's going to be a welcome program Friday. We will get to the other Friday night. There'll be something,
Yeah.
especially if you're going to be there, Kadeem.
Yeah. We'll do some kind of something. I do plan on taking my wife out to dinner and probably with a couple other brothers. But when I get back, I'll be hanging out downstairs, just visiting with brothers as they come in and just being a welcome wagon.
Yeah,
I'll be there with my bottles of scotch, and
talking
which, by
about
the
Friday
way,
night.
oh yeah,
Okay.
but I have several bottles of scotch, 20 bottles of wine already, and I'm gonna bring some wild turkey and Jack Crown Royal, and and then I'm also getting champagne and orange juice for the ladies, so they can have mimosas all day on Saturday if they want to, and just sit at the beach
Nice.
and drink
Well, that's what
mimosas,
they're gonna do then. That's you don't have to worry about schedule for them.
right?
Mimosas on the beach.
And
You can
then
do that for 2 hours.
a few nice bottles of wine for them. The cheap guys can drink the cheap stuff, and the girls will get them some nicer bottles of wine.
Yeah.
But it's not that we're going to be liquored up all day, but we're going to be liquored up all day. No, just kidding. I don't do that. That's why I drink scotch, because I'll just get one glass and I'll sip on it for a while. I'm just not a heavy drinker.
Yeah.
I don't like
You're
to.
talking about Friday
I don't
still,
like
right?
to both nights.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, after the master's degree, I know we talked about that, but
Yeah, I never cut loose. I never really cut loose
yeah.
because I always love to have discussions.
Um, I'm looking here at the comments.
Now
David,
Saturday night after the I just wanted to say after the master's degree, we will probably have a round table at that time, and do some kind of a discussion with the panel for Masonic improvement.
informally
So
at the hotel.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, let's look here. Let's get caught back up. David Lawson says of about 18 active members, I think he's talking about his lodge, they have 4 A certs and a couple Bs. That's big, dude. Like my whole district has like 2 A certs.
We have 3 A's and several C's in our lodge.
Zach asked how school's going, like in the new year. I love it, man. It's going really well, really well. I'm taking a new approach. I'm being a lot more. There's an old saying in teaching that is, don't let them see you smile until Thanksgiving, which because really you're supposed to spend the first few months really reinforcing procedures, expectations, yada yada yada. And if you start cutting loose too early, then it
They
becomes
cut
too
loose too early.
informal. Do what?
They build on it.
They build on that.
If
So
you cut loose, they build on it.
yeah, yeah. So you wait until later after they understand the expectations. So I've been taking more approach to that. Not quite waiting until Thanksgiving because that's not my personality, but I have a reputation of being stern and strict. But my kids are doing really well. They're learning and they enjoy my class. So I mean, we still have fun. They still laugh sometimes, but I'm enjoying it. I really like this approach, and I love teaching. I love working with students. So I'm considering two things. Since you're talking about my profession, I'm considering maybe going back sometime and getting a PhD or something. But I'm also considering maybe looking at some local. I got some local community colleges, and maybe teaching a few nights a week there. Also, I just enjoy doing it. I enjoy teaching, and I enjoy education. I enjoy challenging myself to improve. So that's why the degree maybe, but also just because I've taught high schoolers before, and now I'm teaching like middle schoolers. But I would like to teach, just dabble with like college level. But we'll see. We'll see. I haven't really talked to my wife about a whole lot of that yet, but I would like to do something like that. I just really enjoy teaching. Anyway, let's look some more of the comments here. Oscar says he doesn't know what time he'll be there, but sometime Friday. I'm leaving around 6 from DFW area in the morning. So we'll see. I'm not sure. My wife predicts around lunchtime, but we'll see. Because it's just her and I, so we're not going to be in a rush. David Lawson says the worst night of his life in Paw Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why that's for other people. That's not for me.
Yeah. No, the worst night I ever had with anything was it was Blue Moon, like that cheap beer. And we got it on sale. And man, I threw up all the way across the county. All the way across the county, out of my car door. And it was
For me, it was Mad Dog 2020.
Ugh, that'd be the worst out of anybody's life for that. Ugh. I tried it one time, and I didn't even see how people stomach it. Like it's vile, vile.
Well, when you lived the life I did, that was the the most.
Takes a mad dog to see a mad dog.
Yeah, that was pretty tame.
Devin McLean says, yeah, Tool has a lot of esoteric themes in the lyrics, a lot of Jung, Steiner, and other. In their latest album, they utilized the Fibonacci sequence to create and arrange the song. Yeah, that sounds right. Oscar says, is there going to be anything for the inner circle while we're out there? We, I would like to do something maybe Friday night with the inner circle, but there's nothing concrete yet because we didn't know for sure how many people were going to be there from the inner circle.
There's so many. The problem is that there's so many. Nobody knows when anybody's getting
there. Yeah.
That's why it becomes an issue on Friday night.
But we do have some other things in the works, maybe for early next year, that are inner circle only. But we'll talk. Let's get through Saturday first.
Yeah, we're looking at doing a retreat. We're going to do a retreat next year for the inner circle only. On top of the next summit, we're going to be doing another summit. But we'd like to do a retreat for just the inner circle only.
Yeah, Zach says we should set up a members only live during the event. That's interesting. I can make you do it off my phone. That's an interesting idea. That's a good idea, Zach. I'll think about that. See how we can make that happen. Let's see. Yeah, Kadeem says you're gonna leave at 7:30 from DFW on Friday and try to make the most out of it. Yeah, it's a fun trip. Going through that part of Texas is pretty fun. Yeah, Zach says he's down for a retreat. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Justin says Mad Dog and Boone's Farm. See, I could do Boone's Farm. Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm
Wow.
doesn't taste that make you want to like. Does it start like a gag reflex as soon as you drink it? Mad Dog, you smell it and you want to throw up.
That's funny.
Kadeem says let him record the video for the inner circle. Yeah, I got a stand too. So this light stand I could bring.
I have a stand too.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
I have a stand-up stand.
It's a stand-up stand. Yeah,
Yep,
we'll figure
I have to
something
find
out.
it.
I like that idea. Maybe when we do, well, that won't be a good idea. Well, maybe we do when we do the round table or something, because it's gonna be members only anyway. Very few people. So I don't know. We'll look at our options. I like the idea of doing something special, for sure.
For the round table?
Well, I didn't say we had to. No, for the inner circle.
Mm.
Like as far as like a live stream or something for the inner circle or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had said on table. I said, no, we're not going to do that live.
Oh, the round table?
We're gonna,
No.
yeah, I want to do that with everybody.
Not just live.
Not live.
No. No.
We have too many dynamic personalities to
Yeah.
do that.
Too many. I know. Don't worry. Also, me and Justin are cousins now from Frank G. McDonald. Yeah, boy. Very cool. All right, man. It's 10:30. You got anything else? I got work. Mañana.
Nope.
Anyway, Summit just around the corner. Website's MasonicSummit.com. If you know anybody that still might be interested, if they're on the fence, send them the link. Share them the agenda that I shared to Texas Freemasons, because tickets are selling fast now that it's around the corner, and definitely don't want anyone to miss out, because like I said, this is gonna be awesome.
I'm calling the chef tomorrow, Wolfgang, and
You know they're a good chef with a name like that.
I'm telling you, is that just not the most badass name?
That's
for
a chef name right there. Either you're a chef or a composer.
Exactly.
Or maybe both.
Exactly. And either way, it's poetry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna call Wolfgang tomorrow and settle up on exactly how many meals we'll have at the dinner for the festive board, and I'll be working on some of the gifts that we'll be giving to our attendees and their wives, and yeah, we're getting close, man. We're getting close. It's happening.
Yeah.
But tomorrow's a big day to start getting ready.
Yep.
If any of y'all have CNC experience with lasers, I'm pretty good with my Dremel, but I've been trying to get my laser to work out right, and it's giving me grief today.
Do you even know what that's from, Dennis? I've been doing it every time. What's it from?
Austin Powers.
Oh, okay. All right.
Come on. I am a lot more hip than you are.
Yeah.
I didn't just watch the movie. I lived it.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, you drink that coffee. That's
But just yep. But just
dude, I
just
quoted like everything out of that movie when I was a teenager.
You had to be cool somehow.
You know it, man. Every time you drink coffee, it's like, it's a bit nutty. Kadeem says, suggest doing a recap on Saturday, like a vlog recap. It's a good idea. But yeah.
Well, you also got to remember, Kadeem, it's going to be a busy day. In fact, it's going to be hard to get that round table in at the end of the day.
So great
it
question.
Really is.
Great question, Dennis. Details for lunch on Saturday on your own or provided?
I would really like to provide something. I actually spaced it, and I'm sorry.
You did what? You did what?
Spaced it.
Spaced it.
Yeah, I was so busy on all the other details that I forgot about lunch.
I didn't think about it either
So
until you mentioned it.
yeah, so I'm working on that. Let me see how this all pans out, and
So should they
if
plan to get
anything,
something, or are we taking care of them?
I'll let you know before the end of the week.
Okay. All right.
Because it may be that I just order a bunch of pizzas and have them delivered to make it easy. That way we can all hang out there and keep talking about what's going on.
Because here's a lot of guys are bringing their wives and families, and they'll probably be the ones with the cars, right? So a lot of the guys, I don't know. We'll get it figured out. We don't want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna carpool with somebody so that my wife has the truck.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll probably end up ordering something that can be delivered to our door, whether it's pizzas or sandwiches or something like that, from Subway or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll probably work on getting something ordered. And even if it's like a buy your own, then I would still have some kind of a menu for everybody to pick from so that we can just get it delivered to make it easy.
Yeah, Oscar says pizza sounds good. I mean, pizza's basic, but dude, we're having like a really fancy dinner. And so
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind pizza if I know I'm having a great dinner.
Yeah,
I
our
might
surf
just
and turf is beef tenderloin and scampi. It's not a cheesy dinner
Yeah.
at all.
I don't know. I may just fast until dinner personally. So it's just whatever. I think that's everything. Justin Hershita says, I hope you guys have the best event next weekend. I know you guys have put much into it. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's going to be awesome.
It is. I'm excited. It's, I'm a fan of every one of our guest speakers. They're not only close friends, but I'm a fan. That's why we get along and talk so much when we get together and go off to another room and talk Freemasonry, because I'm a fan.
Yep.
But
lunch is just to get us by till dinner. Yeah, I agree.
Do what?
Oscar says lunch is just to get us by until dinner.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really why I forgot. I completely spaced it.
Yeah, we've been so focused on the festive board and the event itself and the speakers that we kind of. Dennis thought about lunch before I did. He mentions like, "Hey, I realized we hadn't even talked about lunch." It's like, "Oh crap, you're right.
Yeah,
it is a meal.
Yeah.
We do have lunch usually. Yeah, green beans. We'll have green beans, pancakes and green beans."
Oh man.
But anyway, all right, man.
Well, breakfast all day.
Yep. Wrapping it up.
So just a quick wrap up. We talked earlier today that tonight that if you're not finding your Freemasonry, then go find your Freemasonry. If you got to go to other lodges, that's okay. Do it. If you want to join the Scottish Rite to get the Freemasonry that you were looking for out of your brew lodge, do it. Yeah. Don't feel bad about it. Don't hesitate.
Or
do what you need to do to fill your cup.
Or if you're enjoying the real University of Freemasonry, York Rat's also available.
Yeah, there's no drill team in university. Oh my gosh. So I am a member of York Rat as well. I did get a lot from it, and I love watching the degrees, but I found my people in Scottish Rite. And that's coming up in October. The reunions are coming up in October, and September and October in Dallas, and in October for San Antonio. So it's coming up soon. So keep that in mind.
Trading cowboy tux. So I'm going to wear a suit. We're recommending suits, but not everybody has a suit. So I mean, if you want to do the jeans in a jacket or something, like a suit jacket, by all means. I mean, we're not gonna turn anybody away.
We're not going to turn anybody away if they can't do it. But really, we're trying to make this an elevated experience so everybody can see what Freemasonry is.
Yeah.
Or what it can be.
Yeah.
What it was at one time. We're trying to just have that feeling. There's nothing wrong with going to a lodge that you only wear polos at or whatever, and then getting together every once in a while and having something, doing it up. There's nothing wrong with that. Yep. Everybody enjoys. Every girl's crazy about a sharp crisp meal. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
That's so we're just trying to level it up for ourselves and for our members so that they get all the value that they were hoping for in this event,
Mm-hmm.
and getting just a taste of what Freemasonry can be.
Yeah. I was going to say he's taking jeans and jacket because that's all he's got. And absolutely. I mean, like I said, we're not turning anybody away. We're not.
Yeah, no worries. No
worries at all.
You're in South Texas. You're in South Texas. That's kind of normal. That's kind of dressed up, really.
Yeah.
Cowboy, blue jeans, nice boots, and a jacket. Dude, you're in South Texas. I mean, that's how we roll.
Yep. All right, man. I'm calling it. See y'all
all right.
Saturday or Friday.
Even
Later.
points, brothers.